Hi, Jess. Let me know when you can hear me. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
My camera was on, and then I must have clicked the wrong thing because then I was like, oh, wait, I disappeared. How
That's okay.
are
Hi. Hello.
ya? How's your voice feeling today?
It's fine. I haven't drank a lot of water in the last couple days, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. So today we were gonna check what your range is that we want to list. And remember too, this is not gonna be like your best day extreme range. It's going to be like your everyday range. Like, so
Yeah.
on a really
Oh, this
great
isn't
day,
like
maybe I can get to an
your
A, but
full.
then like on pretty much any day I can get to an E, right? So maybe I'll put that instead, kind of an idea. So we
Oh, so
list
it's
like
not a full
your
range.
performing range. Yeah. Like what you're comfortable
Oh.
committing to for being like, oh yeah, I can sing that in a show. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how do
Yeah.
I figure out what like my full range is?
Yeah, I think knowing what that
Or is that
is,
not
I think
something?
is good. But then also what you list might be a little bit different
Okay.
than what we um know that we can do sometimes.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
so let's go ahead and we're just gonna kind of do some exercises and see where we get to. All right, so why don't we start? We'll start just at middle C to get going. And then we're just going to see where we go. So why don't we try first on, let's do just an ooh sliding on a fifth. So let's
That's
go,
really, it's really hard to hear your piano. I like can
oh,
hear
okay.
that it's playing, but I have my volume all the way
Sure,
up.
yeah. Let me see if I can adjust the sound settings as well. See if we can help that a little bit. Alrighty, so let's see. Hopefully that'll be a little bit easier or better or
Yeah, I
clearer.
think
Is
so.
your original sound on as well?
Hmm.
Okay, great. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we can do. So on ooh, we're gonna go ooh.
Okay.
All right,
Are we going up or down?
we're gonna go up first.
We're gonna go up. Oh, okay.
One, two, ready, and ooh. 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 Go ahead and pause for a second. Get a sip of water. That's no problem at all.
I was trying to focus on also like
Yeah.
feeling my mix in it and then going into
Mm.
because I was like, oh, I can feel it, so I was gonna try not to break. So sorry, we can keep going.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so right where we left off. Ready and. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna switch and do ooh to ah and back to ooh, breathing in. right at that point where we're going to be switching into whistle register. I usually don't dive into that range like right off the bat. I usually sort of like warm up into that space. So let's just slide down.
Ooh.
Yes, good. All right. So then let's try on a scale. Let's do E, A, A, E. All right. So it's going to be E, E.
Okay.
E, E.
Sorry, that was so hard to like. It was I think we were like the timing was off, and so I was like, what's going on?
Oh, oh, that's
Sorry.
okay. No problem. Try that
Okay.
again. Breathing in.
This is so hard to do virtually. Sorry.
Oh, really? Is it
Yeah, I
is
feel
there like
like
a delay?
the sound it's like a delay and then the sound cuts out when you on your end when you get
Oh.
high.
So
And
the
so I'm like,
original sound for musicians should fix that. Um, do you see it up in the
sorry.
top corner and does it say on next to it?
Yeah, I turned it on.
Let me check a couple other just like computer settings here because
It's
that
okay
should
if
help with
not. We
that.
can always do this at our next one, like in person or something.
Yeah, but it should work. Hmm. All right, let's try that. All
Are
right,
you having
instead of
any
as
voice
wide, yeah,
cracking?
I'm not having like a delay or anything on my side that I'm hearing, so yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I'm trying to troubleshoot a little bit. Let's try instead of
Okay.
the full, because we're going 9 notes apart, which is pretty far. Let's do just a 5 note scale instead, and let's go
Okay.
on. Instead, we'll do. Let's keep similar vowels. So E, A, Ah. We're gonna go E. So two, 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 like that. So that'll be. Try that.
Okay.
All right, so that's a high C. That's a little bit higher than we went the last time. So again, we're still
Okay.
just kind of continuing to warm that up into that more whistle register space. So let's go ahead and slide down.
Okay.
Oh, good. All right, so then let's do on an arpeggio this time, and let's change the vowels. Let's do instead on ooh, oh, ah, oh, ooh this time. Skipping up and down this time. So ooh, oh, ooh, ooh, oh, ah, oh, ooh on an arpeggio. So little skips up and down. All right. 1, 2, here we go. Ooh, oh, ooh. Ooh, oh, Good. So this is where we start transitioning into more of a heady space. It's been more mixy till now. Good. Why don't we switch to just ah sustaining now? Breathing in. Let's try for one more. So that was the C. Did it feel a little more comfortable this time? Good.
Yeah.
All right, try the C one more time. Breathing in. Little higher. Does that feel good?
It feels good. I feel like maybe one more up.
All right, let's try it again. Here we go. So that's the D flat. Do we feel solid on that? Do we feel okay?
I feel okay on it. I feel like if I were to like sustain that, it would be
Right.
hard. But I feel like
Yeah.
in that, I can do it.
Good. Awesome. All right, so let's slide back down. Oh. Good. Now, that actually was more of a legato phrase. So we're going to try some like really bouncy light phrases because sometimes we can actually get higher on those because it's just a little on the note. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
I know you saw that little teeny little blip of a like Glinda Wicked
Yeah.
thing that I did. I feel like I just did that because I was singing it at home and I was like, you know what, that's I feel like that's really good and impressive, but I wanted to make sure like did that sound like all right? Was it kind of you can be completely honest. Was it kind of pushy?
So, so I would say like sometimes people will ask like me as well. Like they'll be like, "Why did you post that?" Like I know like maybe you can, you're better at this or like I feel like you could have done better on that. Like maybe you should redo it and repost it. Um and so like even if you feel like something isn't like your typical like this is where I usually shine in, I think that
Yeah.
showing that journey and going like this is where I'm at right now and this is what I can do with this particular song right now. I think that's a beautiful thing. So and showing, letting people take that journey with you, I think can be a really special thing. So, um, so just like objectively, if you think through Wicked, like who do you think character wise that you feel like you would be like an ideal person to cast for that particular character? Like if you were thinking
You
of
know,
yourself as like a casting director, where would you visualize yourself?
I really and I'll be shunned for saying it. Wicked is amazing. It's incredible. It's not one of my favorites. Like I don't think I could see myself like being like, "Oh, I really want Elphaba or I really want Glinda." It was more of just being like I usually don't sing that high and that
Mhm.
tiny little frame, I was like, maybe I can hit that and I felt
Yeah.
like I did. But I also was going to say like I'm totally open if you're like, "Oh, you're a little sharp or you're a little
Oh
flat."
yeah. I mean, I thought you actually did a pretty darn good job with it. I do feel like it was a little bit, like a little bit, maybe like in the neck, kind of like
Yeah.
tightening a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like technique wise, I feel like, we could improve it more. And I feel like too, you've heard it a certain way and you just were kind of trying to emulate them.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if we worked on it a bit more, we could get it to where it feels more like your voice singing it. If you think of
Oh,
like the movie
yeah.
cast and the original Broadway cast, they sound very different.
They
And
do. They
And
do.
it doesn't even make one better than the other. But they are different people and their voices are different instruments. So if you have in your mind, I'm going to try to sound like Ariana or I'm going to try to sound like Kristen Chenoweth, and then if you're not them, it's probably not going to sound exactly like them,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So,
I just guess because I was like, when I did it, I was like, this is definitely like the height of like what I could push for, and it's
yeah.
not where I'm comfortable in, you know. And so
Yeah.
that was like, I don't know. I posted because it was fun. I mean,
No, yeah.
I was literally like covered in
Well, and
cat
I'm gonna
hair,
be
and I
honest, I thought Ariana had tension in that song. And honestly, like throughout, she had an issue with like her jaw protruding and having a little bit of tension because of that. Um,
oh, because she kind of sings with
she does like a jaw jutting
like
thing, like
uh-huh.
this. Um,
Notice that.
which actually was a bad habit I had when I was younger. Um, And later I got a tonsillectomy and like had to relearn how to sing and I got rid of that. Because I was like, it feels like a whole new body, like a
Oh, that's
giant cave of
crazy.
space that was never there before. Um,
Yeah.
so that actually was one of my old bad habits. So I feel like she had some tension in there. Yours, I would say, was a little more like here, and I felt like there might have been like a little bit of constricting. Um,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I think too, just because you're not used to singing up there, um, like I could tell you were really working to like keep your palate lifted kind of
Yes.
thing. But the thing is,
Yeah.
other people are not going to watch it and think of all those things like at all.
Okay, cool. I
I'm
mean, I
sitting there
wasn't,
like nitpicking and, picking out little bitty things. But overall, though, I thought
oh,
it was
yeah.
beautiful. So are there
Okay,
things that you could improve about it? Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, like
for
you're like,
sure.
I don't usually sing that high. Can
Yeah,
you?
that's why
Yeah.
I was like, it was just a fun thing to do, but I just basically was like, did it sound really bad or just like
No,
not
I
great?
wouldn't
Because
be
like
like embarrassed
I
to
don't
have
have
it
any
up
work
there
on
by
it.
any
So
means. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I
I was
think,
like, I'm gonna just leave it. So,
yeah, I
but
mean,
okay.
people know what you typically post and like what your kind of sweet spot is. And then you're just like, hey, I kind of had fun doing this other thing today. That's okay,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Okay, I'm so sorry. I know I just totally
No,
got us
yeah.
off track.
Oh no, it's good. You're good. So far we went up to a D flat
Okay.
six. Um, so that's definitely solidly in whistle register. If we can get you really comfortable in that kind of a range and we can get you to singing the D6 like really solidly, you could even play Christine in Phantom. If we get you where you feel comfy up there, you can play some different roles than what you've been going for in the past. I want to see what happens if
Yeah.
we do a really bouncy, like light, fast thing. Because,
Okay.
um, for instance, I had a role, I did Madame Golden Trill in grad school, and I was at the time like I had just had my tonsillectomy and was like relearning how to use my voice, and I was like, I don't know if I can sing that high right now because I was like, it's like painful because I'm still healing and like things are not feeling great right now. And my
Yeah.
director and my teacher were like, you can do it. You're gonna be fine. And I literally didn't sing the role till 2 weeks before the performance, like the high notes anyway. I just like I walked it. I knew my blocking. Like I
Yeah.
legit
Yeah.
didn't sing the high notes until 2 weeks beforehand. And the reason I could do it, even though I was like still in recovery mode, was because I the phrases were just like da 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 da, like little like you know boom, like, and then you just sort of like bounced off the top, so I didn't have to sustain up there. It was just like bouncy light, like
Yeah.
like little golden like tinkling bell sounds up there. And so if I had
Yeah.
had to like hold it out, there would have been no way. But because it was like these little like spurts, then I could actually go higher than I was, you know, comfortable sustaining at the time. So I
Yeah.
want to see what happens if we do more like bouncy, light, runny things. So
Mhm.
if we did like, let's do let's do and we're just gonna like just do that and then let go. So we're just gonna do an ascending going up and then just toss it and let it go. So we'll go and then we'll take a
Okay.
breath and we'll go up a half step. 1, 2, breathe.
Oh, sorry. I was
That's
off key
okay.
there. Sorry.
That's all right. So let's back up a little bit to here. All right.
Okay.
Good. That one feels good. Let's try. I'm going to switch the pattern. We're just going to go, uh, but faster, like, so like a
Okay.
really fast, like run up and then just toss it. So, like that. Yeah. And you're going to feel like a little, like in your core, these little, ha ha
Okay.
ha ha ha. You'll feel the breath moving, but it's going to be like a really fast run. So it's like,
Okay.
except faster. Yeah. And then you'll just toss the
Okay.
top. All right. So breathing in.
Okay.
Yep. And then we're going to go up a little bit. Good.
No, I
Good.
feel like
How's
I'm
that feeling?
screaming.
It's okay.
It feels like I'm really like I'm like like
Yeah. 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 Keep your chin down. When you breathe in, I want you to think of expanding here in the throat.
okay.
Okay. Jaw open. Okay.
Okay.
Breathing in. Yeah, exactly. Good. It sounded good. As long as it's not painful.
I know it's not painful. It's again it's like I can hear it, but then when I'm doing it, I think it's like me, I'm off key because it's hard to hear it, but
Sure.
yeah, but I it's
Whistle
not
register
painful.
land feels weird and you don't hear yourself the same way or feel it the same way. So we don't know for sure what's happening because the glottis folds over and blocks it. So the camera, when you scope, can't see it. But the prevailing theory and the theory that I subscribe to is that so the vocal folds, they're in like a V shape when they're at rest, and then when we sing, we pull them together. So the prevailing theory is that when we go to whistle register or falsetto land, you're not vibrating entirely across. You're just vibrating that little tip of it together. It's stretched so far that it can only connect just this little bitty section. So it's like you can't full voice it and you can't control it quite as much. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So it is going to feel very different. And we just
It
haven't really
does.
worked in
Yeah.
that range much. So I would say at this point, I probably would say like your absolute top if they ask. Because I have had people, I don't put like my full range that I possibly can do on my resume. I put the like, I can pretty much always do this reliably range on there. Um,
Yeah.
Occasionally people will ask, and I'm like, I mean, on my best days, which is like, I don't know, 5 days a year, I can get to like an A6, but don't rely on me for that in a show. So I'm like, don't ask me to do that in performance, thanks. So yeah, but I'm like, I put like E6 to like reliably that they can depend on me for. But I'm like, yeah, no. I'm not gonna have them rely on me for like F sharps consistently. I'm like, sorry, not anymore. I used to, but my
Okay.
voice changed. So I'm like, no, that is not my voice anymore.
Okay.
So I would say like D flat six is like your extreme high. We should probably check it on multiple days because different days your voice is gonna feel a little bit different.
Yeah.
But that's where we're kind of landing on. But I would say like comfortably, um, let's like test my theory, um, to see just to double check it. But I'm gonna have you try going just on an open ah, and we're just gonna sustain for a 3 count, and then we'll breathe and go up. So we're gonna start on C5 and inch our way up. So we're gonna go. Ah, then you'll breathe and we'll go up a half step and then we'll go to
Okay.
the next, and we're just going to sustain on 3 and find like where you feel really comfortable saying like you can trust me to sing this. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so breathing in. we have a teensy bit of buffering there. Okay, we're good now. All right, let's try that one again. Breathing in. You still feel good?
Let's see the next one.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking we could go a little bit further, but let's see.
Be a
Breathing in.
couple.
Still good?
Yes.
Okay, let's try this one. Is that
Yeah.
feeling good?
Yeah.
Strong?
Still,
All right,
yeah.
so that was the one that I was thinking you could put on there as your range, which is B flat 5, which is still pretty darn high. In most things, you don't go higher than the G or the A5. So a B flat 5 is higher than that. So I would put as your like extreme high. If they want to know, D flat 6, but like reliably, B flat 5 is what we can listen.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Because
try
I feel
going
like
lower.
I
Yeah.
do feel really comfortable like when we were obviously stating that, but I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I don't really know if I'm having to like really go for it,
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
cool.
would say if you're wanting to strengthen that and like try to extend farther, you're gonna want to challenge yourself to stretch to those extremes of your upper range pretty
Okay.
much every day to keep it chipping away there. All right.
Okay.
All right. Just to
Okay.
get really comfy up there. We're gonna go down as well. All right, so we're going to do just a sigh down first on an ah. We're going to go ah, and let it just drop into that chesty space. So starting like very solidly in your mix and then transitioning down. Breathing in.
Oh, Lord.
Ah. Good. Ah. 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 Ah.
I'm starting to like
Feel it
so
kind of
maybe
like hitting the bottom. I'm just kind of
yeah,
curious
I
how much
feel
farther
well,
we can go. Are you hitting up on
yeah,
like where
yeah.
it feels like it's going to be kind of switching into vocal fry at that point?
Close to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe a couple more. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. All right.
Okay. Well, let's see.
We'll see.
You feel okay?
No, it comes out very whispery on that one.
Whispery. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now
this
I
is kind
am
of
a
like,
little drier, but definitely, yeah,
yeah.
I feel like that or like close to I know that like the in the song the Christmas waltz, when I had to
Mhm.
do those low notes, that's as low
Yeah.
as I've ever
Yeah.
comfortably gone.
Well,
But
this
yeah,
was
as of
about
right
kind
now,
of where
that's
I thought you'd be bottoming out. So that's pretty much like on point with what I was thinking.
okay.
So let's try a big
Okay, cool.
slide. Ah, big siren.
Ah.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to try going down again. Can we do it on, mm, let's do me, 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 me. So just stepping down. All right, 1, 2, here we go. Me, 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 me. 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 Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Still feeling okay?
Um, Feeling like my throat is dry. So yeah,
Yeah, right.
but
So, I mean,
I feel like
it's
that's
probably your
yeah,
voice like telling you something and being like,
yeah.
hey, like that's pretty low there. Um, and
I
that's
need to
okay.
drink more water.
Yeah.
I'm the worst.
I mean, that
Yeah,
was
but
about
yes.
where I expected it to be anyway. Yeah. So can we try let's do on pui pui pui. So we're gonna go pui pui pui. All right, 1, 2, breathing in. Pui pui pui. 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 How are you doing there?
I don't know if I hit that last one,
Yeah,
actually.
right. That's what I was
I think
thinking.
I
I was
was
like,
off.
yeah, let's check
Okay.
in. All right. So I would say like your extreme low that you can list as like, the furthest would be an E3 because that one's kind of like hit or miss. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
Okay.
Comfortably, let's just double check it by just singing one note sustaining again. Let's do an ah, and we're just gonna inch our way down and figure out where it's like, oh, that one's still like nice and clear, feels sustainable. If you had to do 8 3-hour shows in a week, you could still do it. Okay, so we're gonna try it. Breathing in, ah, breathe, ah, 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 ah. How are you feeling there?
Good.
Yeah. Do you feel like you can go a little bit farther?
Maybe.
Okay, let's try
Let's
it.
see. Yeah.
How does that one feel?
Um, Different, lower, but good.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm
then let's.
like, I feel like I'm like holding it like,
Mhm.
instead of,
Like having
so.
like freedom and yeah, it should be
Mhm.
like your optimal range. I feel like
It
the
feels
tone
comfortable.
changes quite a bit there. Like it's comfortable. Um,
Okay.
but my question is like, would you want to have to sing it, you know, for 3 hours straight, 8 times in a week? Because if you don't feel like
I
that
don't
could be
know.
sustainable, we probably don't want to list it, would be
Okay.
my thought. It has to be
Okay.
something that you feel like really confident with and that you're like, this would be sustainable and I could trust that it would be like strong and confident. Um, so my
Can we
thought,
do that one
yeah,
more?
for sure.
What
Yep.
note was that?
That was F sharp, F sharp 3. I feel like the G3 sounds like really solid to me, and like I would feel really confident casting you to do that in a show where you
Okay.
had to do it multiple times. But the F sharp, I'm like, it might be there, it might not. Um,
Sure.
and that's just a whole step above the E3, which is where we were like, that's kind of like your bottom, the deepest we can go.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. So if we said like your general like solid range that you could put on there was G3 up to it was B flat 5, that's still like quite a broad range because that's one that's one, two. That's like 2.5, like really solid octaves. And then you've got like 3 octaves that are sort of like maybe like 3 to 3.5. That's like depending on the day. Um, But
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra just stayed in like one range, one octave all the time, and he's one of the greatest, right? So we find out like what is your sweet
Yeah.
spot, and we
Yeah.
like own that. And the thing is, you can expand your
Okay.
range. You can work to stretch it and work on, strengthening the coordination at those extremes. We haven't worked a ton
Yeah.
in your whistle register or your vocal fry. So you have these two whole sections that you're just like not really tapping into at all, and we're just going to where
Yeah.
it sounds like very like clean and clear, and that's okay. It
Yeah.
just means that you haven't really worked on those as much, and that's fine,
Right.
or really at
And I
all. So
feel, yeah, with jazz, I've been so low in it,
Mhm.
where I'd have to like, because I don't know like what the
Yeah,
keys are on the piano.
right,
It's
yeah.
still on my goal to learn, but I haven't prioritized it yet. But like, it's definitely something where like I've been like really sitting low and
Mhm.
feeling so good. So yeah, I would love to like definitely, throw in some, some lessons here and there where we kind of just
Mhm.
work on some practicing,
Yeah.
work on some practices to like, because I will say on the jazz side where I do sit really low and very sultry and really
Mhm.
deep raspy. I
You
would
can
love
go
to
into more of that
definitely
vocal
be more,
fry. Mhm.
yeah, I would love to be more confident in that because I feel like I sound really good, but I want it to be consistent, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That you want to feel like it's always there, kind of a thing. Yeah.
yeah, for
And
sure. Yeah,
yeah, so I feel like, we have been focusing more on musical theater, so it's a different sound that we're going for and everything. So I think it's
for
perfectly
sure.
fine
Yeah.
that you're like, it's not quite where I want my jazz to be. And, maybe I'd like to be able to do some whistle register sometimes, like Mariah Carey, with like emotions and
No,
stuff.
okay.
Um,
We'll
if you
see.
want, you can work on it. So, um, everyone has a whistle register, just most people don't learn to use it.
Yeah,
So it's totally up to you. So, yeah,
maybe someday I'll come to you and I'll just be like, all right, Vandy, it's time. We'll just,
yeah,
okay, cool,
yay!
cool.
All right. So I realized I typed it funky. So I put in, so like the range I would put right now that they can like reliably trust you to have all the time, that I would put on the resume for your auditions and stuff,
Okay.
would be G3 to B flat 5. And
Okay.
then if they're like, okay, like, is that like your absolute range or is that like your comfortable range? You could even like write on their comfortable range and like put their like that there. Um and then if they ask like what's like, your extreme range, then you can say the E3 to D flat 6 is what I would reliably like say those two for now. And
Okay.
then
Yeah.
if we want to check back on that later just to kind of confirm, because you are feeling a little bit dehydrated today, so and on another day you might be like, oh, I can go a lot farther today, no problem. So it can kind of
Yeah.
depend on
Yeah.
the day too. So um
Yeah, that could be fun.
yeah, I would love to hear. I know you're feeling pretty confident with Kinky Boots, but I would love to hear what you've been doing with the song just to kind of see where it's at.
Yes.
And then you wanted to check on like if there's any straining, if you should tweak anything. And we have a little bit of time for it. So
Yeah.
I
You
just
don't have
want to
to, it
hear
doesn't
where
have
it's
to be
at.
a full thing. I can also do, I'm thinking about doing another lesson next week as well. It's
Okay.
just I go back to work, and so it's like a weird,
Yeah.
like, I'm finally going to start my normal routine schedule. So, like,
Yeah.
I've been all over the place. So, but yes, I think that, yeah, I don't mind.
Holidays. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got lots of time for that. So,
Are you preparing a cut for it or are you preparing the full song for the audition?
no, it's a cut. It's a loose cut. They said 32 bars, so that's nice.
Okay.
What I did
Yeah.
for the last audition is I just did the first two like the verses, like the first two chunks or whatever.
Sure.
So basically from, oh, I have it on here. From the first word until bum, 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 bum. Right before she goes into where she starts going higher, where she goes, no
Hmm.
way can I be
Yeah.
what I'm not, but hey, don't you want your girl hot? Like right before that. So that part, which it's a little more than 90 seconds. So I feel like I might, if they cut me off, I don't mind. And I might
Yeah.
cut it down.
I mean, I would say it's just kind of
Um,
generally about a verse and a
yeah,
chorus length. But for up tempos,
yeah,
you can do more bars. And then for ballads, sometimes you have to do fewer actual bars. So it's an approximation.
right, right. Yeah. What I'm noticing is that here and there, I still have that thing where, like, when I'm singing it on my own, every once in a while, I'll catch myself that I'm not in the right key, that I'm a little lower.
Mm.
And I can sing it in the key that it's written, and I really like it. And I want to make
Mhm.
sure that if I'm singing it in the key that it's written, that I'm not straining myself when I get down to um, it's really just the end of it where she actually kind of speaks and she goes, so be mine, don't waste my time crying. Oh, honey bear, are you still my baby? And when she does that, I know that's not the right key, but
Oh,
when
it's okay.
she does that, I realize that's when I start kind of, I've played around with it and like modified the my and done it like lower or something. But like I just want to make sure that I'm not. I am a little dry right now, but
Okay.
I can do
Yeah.
it if you
Sure.
want.
Yeah. I'd love to hear, just where it's at, and then we can always adjust things as needed. So just kind of let's see what happens and we'll go from there.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm starting on the right one so we get the right. Every single day. Okay. Alrighty. You want me to just go for it then?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Ooh, oh, I feel it. I'm probably gonna crack a little bit. That's okay.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Um, every single day. Okay. Every single day I walk down the street, I hear people say, baby, so sweet. Ever since puberty, everybody stares at me. Boys, girls, I can't help it, baby. So be kind and don't lose your mind. Just remember that I'm your baby. Take me for what I am, who I was meant to be. And if you give a damn, take me, baby, or leave me. Um, a tiger in a cage can never see the sun. This deep beneath your stage, baby, let's have fun. You are the one I choose. And I do want help on that.
Okay.
You are the one I choose. Folks would kill to fill your shoes. You would love the limelight tonight, baby. So be mine and don't waste my time saying, oh, honey bear, are you still my baby? Take me for what I am, who I was meant to be. And if you give a damn, take me, baby, or leave me. So yeah.
Good. All
Um,
right. So tell me what you thought of it. Like, what
um,
felt good about it? What felt like it needs work? I know that one spot that you pointed out that I heard it and I was like, oh, yeah, we'll work on that
I was
spot.
like, but it's normally I think I'm not like nervous right now, but I feel like I'm a little like dry and I'm kind of constricted. So normally
Mhm.
my riffs are a lot more fluid, so I feel good on those. But really when I get to like the second half of it, I really bring a lot of like attitude into it, and I even kind of what is it when you kind of like, what's that, like Christina Aguilera, little growl in it? I kind of bring that
Nice. Yeah.
into
Yeah, you can say that.
can
You can
never
say
see
growl.
the sun. No,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, but so I do that with that, and then oh, one thing I really want to work on is the "You are the one I choose," because I flip down or I flip up into my head voice because I
Yeah.
feel like feels more like soul,
Mm-hmm.
instead of belting that. So I want to make sure that I can like cleanly go from belting into that, the warmth of the choose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to make sure that when I'm saying the crying, "Oh, honey bear, are you still my baby?" So, because like
Yeah.
there, it's like not as bad, but when I'm in it, I'm like, that's like up there for me. So,
Yeah. So so you do want the flip then on choose is the word, right? Do
is
you
that
want the flip
more
or do you want
difficult?
it
I
to not?
kind of do because I've done
Okay.
it like
Yeah.
if I do let's have fun. You are the one I choose. I don't know. I feel like it brings
Yeah.
more like soul into it if it's more
Mm-hmm.
of you are the one I choose. Folks would kill to fill your shoes. It really like breaks it up. So I would love to do that like
Yeah.
artistically, I think.
Well, so
Okay.
you said you want it to be more smooth, but you also said you want it to flip. So the
Oh,
yeah, so
sorry.
that's where I'm trying to
Smooth
clarify what it is
transition.
you want to be able to do there. Um, so with the flip, are you wanting? So I noticed it kind of is like suddenly softer and warmer and goes to like the pure ooh. And also there's more vibrato there. So
Okay.
you want it to sound soulful and feel like it flows smoothly, right? But you do like
I don't
going to
really,
the
yeah.
other space and having more of this like contrast in that moment, right?
Yeah, even if I just even if it's more even like a mix, I feel like I'd be open to that. I just really don't
Yeah.
want to belt choose. I feel
Yeah.
like
I wouldn't recommend
it is
it.
very, yeah, it's a lot of like belting. So I want to add in those like growls and the
Showing them
mix
more
or whatever.
variety. Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I want it to be clear that you're choosing it rather than it being like, oh, my voice just flips there, and them being unsure of whether it was intentional. So when you did it, I wasn't sure if that was intentional or not. And it sounded more like it was something that just like happened and you weren't like 100% confident with that spot. So we don't want it to sound
Okay.
like that. We
Yeah.
want it to sound really confident and sure of yourself what you do there. Um,
Okay.
so um, what I was going to suggest, before we talked about it, was using vowel modification to help you in that moment. So instead of like, you are the one I choose, and going like very tall and like, choose. Like it sounded very like pretty and classical in that moment. And I really hate to say this because I always get annoyed when people say it to me that it's like, it just sounds too pretty in that moment.
But I
And that's not
understand.
what we
I know what you mean.
yeah.
Okay.
Um
Yeah.
so it's like brassy in your face, like, big, strong, belty, and then all of a sudden it's like choose and it's like, where did the Disney princess come from?
Right. So that's where, like, I think if I'm mixing it, it would be, I'm still working on my mixing. I feel like it's somewhat got better. Like, I can distinctly be like, hey, I'm mixing, but um,
Yeah. So
it's still a
my
little hard for me
instinct
to
is to
say it.
have you do more of a mix there. We're gonna
Okay.
be more straight tone. We're not gonna have that choose. Even if you just go straight tone in that shape, choose. It's already gonna sound more like it's part of the song rather than sticking out
Yeah.
like its own thing. So minimizing the vibrato, We're going to be more mixy rather than like pure heady, ooh, right? Or like, pure chest, like, like, like we want it to be like in the mix. So if we think like,
Yeah.
where you still have like a strong, clear sound, I don't, recommend that you're like, like taking chest all the way up there. Like, let it mix
Yeah,
up
yeah.
there and it's going to sound seamless. So, can we try just going yee and let it be more of the balanced mix throughout that whole phrase? Like, you are the one I choose. Yee.
Okay. Oh, I
Good. Let's go a
brought.
little bit softer. Just clear clarity for right now. Don't worry about like adding the grit and expression just yet. Let's try V V V V V V. Yeah, already moving more towards the direction we want. So now try doing more of like the V. You can add that back in. And again, like minimal vibrato. And on that last note, I want you to crescendo through it. So V.
Okay.
Let it grow as you sustain on it. Try that.
Oh, I don't
Okay.
know if I
So
did
can
that
we
right.
try like more like right to the note? So focus on intonation this time. V, 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 V. Try that.
Beep. Oh, I'm going in my head voice. Sorry.
It's okay. Good. And then I want you to try, you want to feel more of that side to side muscle and more of, more adduction, so more pressure on the closure of the vocal folds. So you want to feel more of
Okay.
that connection there. Um,
Okay.
so you'll feel a little more like intensity in your vocal folds. Yeah. So try just on the yeah, good. All right, now on the V again. V V V V V V.
Okay. V.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to belt it. Yeah.
That's okay. So,
Okay.
if you feel yourself being too pressed, like too much pressure, then you lighten the pressure. If you feel like it's too, so if it's like too chesty, you're gonna lighten the pressure in here, and if it's too heady, you're gonna intensify the pressure in here. So you like add and subtract
Okay.
pressure till you find your sweet spot. Now, another thing that I was thinking would be really helpful here is to add in um, vowel modification. So instead of
Yeah.
choose, where you're wanting it to go more like I'm wishing for the one I love. That like
For the
Disney
one
princess.
I
Exactly.
love.
Like instead of going towards that and going to that like choose, we think of modifying the vowel and that's going to help us get the type of sound we want instead. All right, so I want you to try on na 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 and you're going to hold it on the ah instead. Try that.
Okay. Na 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 na.
All right, so we were a little bit lower in the key. So
Oh, see, that's what I
na 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 right there. So try that
got.
again.
Okay. Na 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 na. Oh, I'm
All
belting. Oh
right.
my
So
gosh.
yeah. So
Oh.
you have to lighten the pressure. Try the na na na. Put it a little more like tight behind your nose and think of
Okay.
aiming the
Yeah.
air up and out higher. Na na
Okay.
na 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 na. And try making it a little bit softer for right now.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay. Nan. Ooh,
All
does
right.
it
I
feel
want you to hum
like
it.
it feels like I'm
That's the note. All right. Now on the na 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 na. I want you to do it softly.
Na 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 na.
All right, now you're going to add a little bit of intensity, a little more volume. Na 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 na.
Na 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 na. Oh,
All
I
right.
felt better.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now a little more intensity, a little more volume. Na 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 na.
I feel like I'm talking to my cat.
Oh,
I
that's
go
okay.
and nan nan.
It can
So
be
I
silly.
love it.
You can use
I love it.
that.
Nah. Oh.
It's okay.
Oh my lord. Na 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 na.
So you're starting with too much weight at the bottom, and then you don't have enough weight at the top. So you need it lighter at the bottom and then a little more
I'm so
pressurized at the
sorry.
top. Na 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 na
Okay.
na
I know it's
na.
frustrating.
I want you to start softer and then crescendo and get louder as you go through the phrase to get that coordination. Try that.
Na. Oh lord. Na 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 na.
Yeah, this is
Better?
basically the entire
Better?
opposite of what
Oh
you've been
lord.
trying to do. So we are telling your muscles to do like exactly the opposite of what you've been doing. All right.
Oh lord.
So now I want you to
Yeah.
try. You're
Okay.
gonna go on instead of you are the one I choose. You are the one I choose. Like and going into that heady space. You're gonna go. You are
Right.
the one I chows. So chow, like chow down
No.
instead. Okay. All right, and do it
Okay.
softer,
Yeah.
but with the tone that you want. Like, you are the one I chose for right now. Okay, try that.
Okay. Um. Okay. Oh Lord. I'm like
You.
trying to like jump through these hoops in my brain.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
You are the wait. You are the one I choose.
Good.
Is that a
And
little bit better?
chows. Remember the chows? You are the one
Oh,
I chows.
it's not gonna actually sound like that though. Is
Correct.
that
This
right?
is an
Okay.
exercise.
I know this is
Yeah.
just an example, or this is just a practice. Okay, cool.
It's
I
to
was
get
like,
the shape and the placement down that we want.
okay. You are the one I chose.
Exactly. Yeah, and it almost
Okay.
came out like chose instead of
So,
choose. But we want
so,
it more like think of that ah place that you had before, right? So
okay.
so master it softly with the kind of tone you want and with the shapes we need and with the vibrato, and then you're gonna gradually work it louder and louder and intensifying as you go. So like
Okay.
you are the one I choose. Try that.
Okay.
Nice and soft.
You're the one I choose.
Yes. All right. And
Okay.
now a little intensity. You are the one I choose.
Am I doing ooh or ow?
Um, so if you have to go to ow to get the sound, do it.
Oh, but
We got to keep
ooh.
your tongue
Okay.
more forward in your mouth, and we need more of this like lift and tight behind the nose feeling. Okay?
Okay.
Try that.
You are the one I choose.
Okay? Better. All right. Um, watch that tongue stays forward and think of lifting into that notch right behind the hard palate. Okay?
Okay. I was
You
making
are
so
the
many
one I
silly faces at each other.
choose. Yeah. Yep. Try it again.
You are the one I choose. Or
Exactly.
choose. I'm like trying to hold it back, but it's coming out like a small belt. Maybe I
It's
just need
okay.
to like work on oi 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 oi.
It's okay.
Um,
You're doing
like
everything I've
more.
asked you for. It's great.
Okay.
It's good. All right. So then I want you to try. You're going to make it a little bit louder, like, a medium soft. All right. But it's like you're in a recording studio, not like on stage in front of 3,000 people, okay?
Okay.
You are the one I choose. So it can be, it's in a recording studio, so the mic is going to help amplify. So you just get the tone and the expression the way you want it. Try it.
Should we? I think so. She doesn't. Or in the you are the one I choose. She. I feel like I don't know if we're practicing on the wrong note. Is it the right
Oh,
note, the choose?
let's check it.
I just want to make sure
Yeah.
because I know that we're practicing it. You are the one you are the one I choose. And I think she's going like oh, what are the lyrics? She goes I could totally be wrong. I just want to make sure that I'm
Hmm.
baby, let's have fun. You are the one I choose. Choose. So it's not choose.
Right, she
It's
sustains
stay.
on it. We're kind of like tossing it, but you
Okay.
don't
Okay.
necessarily have to.
Okay.
Um,
No, but that's
but
good if you can work with like these
right.
certain things are really good to make me
Yeah, right
get
now we're
that
doing more of like an
get there.
exercise to change what
Okay.
you're doing like muscularly with everything. Um
Okay.
yeah. So but you're leaning towards it. So you're going to start it
Okay.
soft, master what it is that you want as far as like the timbre and the tone. You can use vowel modification to help it. You are going to want fewer like vibrations, like less vibrato, because we had
Okay.
more than we wanted there, and it was like a very warm like kind of a space before.
Yeah.
And so we want it to be more of that like brassy, bright musical theatery, like it's more there instead.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's something I want you to start working and playing with.
Okay.
And I think you can use that throughout. So basically, anytime you have an ah, an o, an ooh, your instinct or your body's instinct is to bring the tongue back, lift more in the back, and have more of an open palate.
Yeah.
Ah, oh, ooh, to have more of that space. And
Yeah.
then when we have like e, a, ah, those the body wants to move the tongue more forward in the mouth. So kind of watch for those moments where it's going to want to pull back and then
Right.
play with them to try to keep the shape that we want, which is more of this shape rather than this shape. We don't really want that reverse megaphone shape. We want more of this shape with our mouth and that tongue
Okay.
lifting more to the front. Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that give you a good
Yeah, because I
idea of
think
some
that
things
is
to
what
work
I'm
on?
doing. Yeah. No, for sure. I think that is what I was doing because I was kind of choose instead of,
Mm-hmm.
going into, which I don't want it to sound
Shoes!
like
Yeah,
pretty, like princessy, I don't want it to
right.
be that way. So,
Well, and then
okay.
remember
I will
too,
try to
like
work
with
with,
the exercise I was having you just kind of like pop up to the top and let it go. I don't want you
yeah.
to like add in tension there. So that's why I was like, just sort of like toss it. And then like as you
Okay.
get more and more comfortable with that, you can then sustain and hold it longer.
Yeah, I will definitely work on that. And also my like what you said earlier was good about like the going from a lower volume and then
Mm-hmm.
bringing it up and then, bringing it up. I'll work on that because I
Great.
think just going from the belting is like my brain is like belt and I'm like
Yeah.
no, I want to be so
Yeah.
and in that little part
Well,
there
literally
too,
everyone
I
has to
can
mix as they go up. Everyone.
yeah. Yeah.
Everyone does.
So I know
If
I
you
can do
are
it. It's
full
just all
chest voicing like too high, that's not sustainable. It's not something that's going to be like, oh, I can do multiple shows. It's something you can like on a really good day wow yourself in your kitchen.
yeah.
And then the next day you're like, whoa, my voice is wiped and I cannot do that again. Right? Literally
Oh,
everyone mixes at a certain point in their range. Everyone does.
yeah.
And so it is belting. You can be mix belting. so
Yeah.
so if
I
you're like
know
full
I like
chesting, you're
saw this
limiting your
video.
range.
Yeah, yeah. I saw this video recently and it was just like I don't even know how many steps between the head voice and like, belting and it was just like mixed head, mixed foot and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Whoa!"
Yeah.
Didn't realize there's so many but
All
yeah,
they're
I
doing,
think
it's two
maybe
muscles. And it's just what position am I in? If I'm really low, I'm pulling side to side. And I'm not using my front to back muscle at all. And then as I go
okay.
higher, I'm gradually changing the shape and they're getting longer and more narrow. And
Yeah.
at the top, it's only the head voice muscle at work and not
Okay.
the side to side muscle. And then we, as we come back down, again, want to gradually shape. So when they say like chest voice, chest mix, like a really balanced mix, a heady mix, head voice. What they're talking about is how much of each muscle you're using. So they're getting like very
Okay.
intricate with
Okay.
it. And you just need to ask yourself, is the note clear? Do I feel like I'm over pressurized? Do I feel like I'm flat? If so, then I probably need to stretch a little bit more. So it's really just what just happened? My light went out. See, the
I
bulb
don't
blew. I
know.
was like, I'm gone. Sorry. The light.
No,
I don't
that's
know. I'll
fine.
check the light bulb.
That's
I have a
okay.
different like thing. There we go. That's better. A different light. I never use it because I don't really know what kind of light bulb
It's
or it's like built into the desk.
it's good
Anyway,
lighting. It's good lighting.
well that's good. Um, so yeah, but like the lamp went out. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, it's actually just two muscles. And
Okay.
for you, think about, does it feel over pressurized? Does it feel under pressurized? Does it feel
Okay.
like I
Okay.
need more pressure to get a clear tone? Does it feel like I need less pressure to like release some tension? And if there's not enough pressure, it can get like airy because then there's like air seeping through. And if it's over pressurized, is where you start to feel like, and you're like constricting and it's like too much tension and you're like choking yourself with these muscles.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's
No,
just
that
two
clicks.
muscles.
Yeah, that clicks. When I first, which I realized it's been a long time. We're now going into not the third year, but the third calendar year of
Sure.
working together. And I thought that was really cool.
Aww.
Because, we started in 23, so I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I first started with you, I remember
Mhm.
being like, oh, I don't like anything in my head voice because it's always so whispery and like that's what it is. It's like
Ah.
probably, where what did you just say? You said it
Yep.
was under pressurized.
Under pressurized. Yeah. Yep. So you
Yeah.
need more
So
adduction, which is just the fancy
cool.
word for pulling the vocal folds together more firmly
Cool. Yeah.
because you're
Okay.
just getting like airy seepage,
Yeah. Oh,
wasted air.
that's great. That sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's just like
Oh,
windy.
I my wife just reminded me we have to go
Sure.
pick up my car. So
Oh, yeah.
if
Go
that's
for it.
okay, I'll
You're
just
good. Yeah.
the next one I'll work on these things and then we
Yeah.
will go and
Great.
okay, sorry.
Awesome. Well, have a great weekend and
Okay.
let me know how the practice is going. Update
Okay.
your resume with your range and I'll see you soon, okay? Did
Okay,
you
yeah,
jot
I'll
down the
reach out
range?
soon. I got a picture of it, but yes,
Oh,
I
perfect.
did.
Great. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. And
Okay,
the music
bye.
director will
Oh,
know what it means. So even if you're like, I don't even know what it means, they will know.
okay.
Alrighty. Well,
Okay,
have a
well,
great
thank
weekend. Bye,
you.
Jess.